what? A helicopter crash?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was a helicopter. This episode will come out in 3 weeks, and we'll be like, again?
Again?
That could have been any day in the last 3 weeks.
I would never get. I would say I don't think I would ever get on a helicopter.
Yeah, no, I don't know why they're still allowed to do that.
Yeah, because if you crash at all, you die.
You don't.
You-
Yeah.
There's no like.
There is no recourse.
Yeah, there's no like. My dad said there's no airbags in a helicopter, or maybe there is, but
Well, why don't they put some in there?
yeah. Get some airbags in your hey helicopter designers. There's a thing called airbags.
Just make the helicopter out of the black box.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know there's no way to do this, but quiet propellers.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
can see propellers.
I think people would be more likely to use them if the propellers weren't so damn loud.
Yeah.
Make them out of, I don't know, viscous.
Yeah, not a lot of good stuff happening. I think a lot of bad stuff. Like the cat's attacking me. This is Blinky's.
Yeah, that's the bad stuff Tom was referring to.
Well, he likes to hurt. He's a big fan of inflicting pain. I actually can't access mine. Somebody else is gonna have to hit the first. What are you doing?
Well, he's attacking you because he sat on it.
Well, I'm not sitting on him. I'm sitting near
You
him.
basically are sitting on
He
it.
loves when I do this.
Apparently not.
He likes. Jesus.
Just tip the chair over.
What? Well, no, I can't. I don't know what to do. He has me in his claws. Oh shit.
Tom, pretend you're a bag of frozen peas.
Now he also can't get his claw off me. Wait. I gotta take off my shirt.
Just take the sweater off.
I don't want to do this.
Is he your cat?
Yeah.
It's Matt's, but he's also lived with me for 3 years.
What's his name?
Blinky. is his name.
Blinky. Great.
There you go, bud. Now get the hell out of here.
He should change his name to Renegade Firestarter.
That was the original name.
My audio is not going to be captured at all from whenever the cat attacked me.
That's
Okay.
fine. I don't think it's
Right.
kind of a visual.
Yes. I did note that Carrie's our second guest out of 8 that's allergic to cats in some way.
Yeah, but I have a high threshold for pain.
And this podcast is worth the pain.
Yes.
Carrie's also the
Right
first.
in?
Oh yeah.
What podcast is this?
This is Riffipedia, the podcast where we hit the random article button on Wikipedia and are forced to riff on any article that comes up in any way.
We have no choice. There's a gun to our head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A literal gun.
And this week's guest is the illustrious Carrie Ross. What's up?
up?
Carrie Ann Moss is here.
Yeah. The Matrix.
Oh, is that that woman?
That's the Matrix. That's
Oh,
Trinity, yeah. And also other stuff.
Yeah, she probably did other stuff.
Well, she did. I'm sure there's one big one that I'm missing here. It's another like sci-fi thing.
Oh. Yeah, she looks sci-fi. She looks weird.
Yeah. Perfect sci-fi. Oh yeah, somebody brought me up on stage once as Carrie Moss, and my first line was, "Yep, The Matrix."
She seems like she would do stand-up, probably.
She should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's so funny in The Matrix.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
She's so funny.
She's a couple of good lines of it.
I mean, probably.
Yeah. But Carrie is our first guest who is actually familiar with the podcast and its concept, which is a huge win.
Yeah, we don't have to explain this bullshit again.
Yeah. Everyone keeps going, oh, where's the random article button? Do I bring one? Also, people ask, do I bring one article that I want to riff on? And I give them a guess, but like, no, that's not the point at all.
Like, yeah, I guess, but no.
Don't do that. The whole point is you don't prepare.
Yeah, we're testing our verbal alacrity. You know, we're not just testing our ability to prepare for something. This isn't the SATs.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So just want to get into it. Is there any other? Carrie, you're from Boston?
I'm from Michigan originally.
Oh yeah.
Lived in Boston for a while. Born in D.C.
Damn.
So your National Geographic
Yeah.
knowledge will play key. We'll hopefully get some.
Hopefully we get
references
some
to those areas.
locations.
Yeah, we get some.
Yes,
We got the
better.
entire state of Michigan the first episode,
Oh yeah.
and that
Oh
was
really?
It was overwhelming.
It was too long. It was bad. You don't want the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the state of Michigan? Pro, anti?
I'm pro parts of it. I wish it wasn't shaped like my hand. Easier.
It's the only state you can give a high five to, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't, not all of it deserves a high five. when people ask me, where, like, where did you live? And I'm like, oh shit, where was it? Because Detroit, I think, is like,
The bottom right.
yeah, over here.
So you say you don't know the state like the back of your hand.
What? No, I don't. Man, I should. I'll learn it.
Yeah.
Get palm reading.
My only Michigan experience is I missed a connecting flight at the Detroit airport, and then my parents had to drive from Pittsburgh to Detroit to get me.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like during COVID, not during COVID, like May 2021. So I would have had to wait an entire day. And the Detroit airport is not in the city of Detroit. It's in the middle. It's in Romulus, Michigan.
That's right.
It's in the middle of nowhere. So I don't have a good opinion of Michigan, I guess.
No.
But okay.
Bad
Carrie, hit the
experience.
first random
I
article.
will.
Yeah, hit that button. Yeah.
Oh, it's loading.
No, you gotta go to the the hamburger.
Oh wait.
The top left.
I thought you.
the three
there
lines.
you go.
Top
Yeah.
left.
Um,
I think you clicked like the article of the day.
Did I? Oh crap. Okay, let's see.
Yeah,
Random article.
There we go. Ooh.
Lorcan's Admiral is the butterfly of the family. It's a nymphomaniac butterfly, I guess.
Okay.
Named after Pierre Joseph Michel Lorcan, a French naturalist who came to California from France during the gold rush. So he came here to look for gold.
And it notes specifically that he made important discoveries on the natural history of the terrain. Kind of an opinionated statement, really.
I don't think that counts as an opinion.
I think it is. I think who the hell is this guy? We can hover over.
Oops, wait a minute. Alrighty.
Yeah, he just is an entomologist.
Well, let's see.
Usually flies from April to October, though it depends on the region. It's kind of flying the whole NBA season. Butterflies in northern areas tend to have one brood a year, whereas southern butterflies tend to have multiple broods. Yeah, kind of like people.
Yeah.
Right, folks? People from the south having a lot of kids.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, Montana, what the gun place, a lot of culture of shooting.
Oh yeah, they got stuff in like
butterflies.
Saskatchewan and Alberta in Canada.
Oh yeah, Alberta.
Yeah.
That part
Oh
of Canada.
baby.
They feed on bird droppings.
Yeah, they
which is
feed
pretty
on
cool.
dung. They're eating shit.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, they are nymphomaniacs.
This is funny.
Shit-eating.
They're butterflies. It says they're extremely territorial and will attack any intruders in their habitat, including large birds. How big is this butterfly?
I'm just imagining like him going after like a hawk
What is a
Yeah.
butterfly?
and just getting torn apart
Yeah,
instantly.
no.
A butterfly attacking is just like
Yeah.
that is the count. Is like we call that butterfly kisses.
Yeah.
Actually.
It just goes up
Really
and
fearless.
breathes its like shit breath out on the
I
bottom.
eat poop.
Yeah, it's like I'm crazy. It's sort of this thing where like if you get mugged, you just like piss yourself, right? You know, like,
Right.
keep them off you.
Diarrhea.
Yeah, that's what I'm always doing when I'm getting mugged. Not because I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pissing because it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
You think that guy's crazy? You can't fight him.
He has nothing we can.
But it never works. They just end up taking my wallet, and then I just have pissed pants and no money. Sucks.
Yeah, I keep my wallet in my front pocket. Back pocket.
Which one?
No, this is a tactic.
Yeah,
now we
it's a
don't know.
tactic. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know. That's why I walk around looking crazy.
Yeah. I have two wallets. One of them's fake. One of them's real.
Yeah.
But I often forget as well.
You also have a fake phone.
True.
Ooh, wait. The Cypress Hills. Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
The actual Cypress Hills.
The actual Cypress Hills. Disappointing. but
Yeah, not either the rap group or the neighborhood in Brooklyn that is by my apartment.
Well, yeah, that's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a truly fearless little butt guy.
How did it get determined to be that it was an admiral?
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Is it by water? It doesn't really seem like it's by water at all.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Does admiral mean something else?
Well, there's a white admiral butterfly. I think it is the pattern, the little white spots that come around to
Yeah,
form. It's
sure.
like an admiral cap,
Oh,
like
Okay.
a pirate cap.
Sure. Well,
right. And then maybe it's, you know how there's like the monarch butterfly and the viceroy.
Yeah, the viceroy butterfly.
okay, I guess the butterflies
the
just get
Duke
like
butterfly.
The Duke.
yeah.
The jester butterfly.
Butterflies are just named after like
General.
Star Wars characters
Yeah.
that aren't in the movie.
Yeah, Admiral Akbar butterfly.
The Newt Gunray butterfly.
Yeah.
Is Newt Gunray? That's not the name of the actual guy, is it?
No, that is the name of the guy.
Oh,
That's
They
the
wrote the trade.
yeah, they're the
Oh.
Trade
Trade
Federation.
Federation.
I always thought that
The
it
guy
was
with those cool accents.
I always thought it was just the guy. Okay, I always thought it was just like people were just applying that to Newt Gingrich's name, and it was kind of a coincidence.
No, yeah, Newt Gunray, who gets murdered by Anakin Skywalker, is a direct Newt Gingrich stand-in.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like with Game of Thrones, that guy was like, "What's a name that sounds like Jeffrey, but
Joffrey.
isn't?" Right.
Well, yeah.
Joffrey.
Well, he does that for like all the characters. They're all kind of named something but different. Or certainly in the books you see it more, where it'll just be like, oh yeah, this guy's name is like Kevin with an A. And it's like, okay, cool.
Kevin.
You have the name like 1,000
Kevin.
guys. It
Yeah.
makes sense.
Or like Kevon with an like.
No, it's Kevan, like Kevin.
Oh yeah.
Usually it's pronounced Kevin, just because what are we gonna do with that?
I knew a guy named Kevin. Okay, man, you hit the button.
Well, I'm gonna hit the button. We got water cribs in Chicago. The water cribs in Chicago are structures built to house and protect offshore
Research it.
water intakes used to supply the city of Chicago with drinking water from Lake Michigan. Water is collected and transported through tunnels located close to 200 feet beneath the lake, varying in shape from circular to oval. Not that much of a variance.
Yeah, it's pretty much
And
the same
ranging
thing.
from, like, it'd be cool if there was one that's like, oh, it's a star.
Yeah.
An equal sign, ranging in diameter from 10 to 20 feet. The tunnels lead from the water cribs to pumping stations located on shore, then to water purification plants. Jardine Water Purification Plant, the world's largest.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's
The
biggest
world's
one.
largest water purification plant in Chicago.
That's why Chicago is the place to be. And the Sawyer Water Purification Plant, operating since 1947, where the water is then treated before being pumped to all parts of the city as well as 118 suburbs.
Oh.
Anyway, it seems to be largely okay. There's a list.
Yeah, so this is whenever I'm saying I'm gonna take girls back to my crib. I just really mean this huge vessel of water that's being transported from Lake Michigan.
Don't you remember that show, MTV's Water Cribs?
Water cribs. What did I kill my baby by mistake?
Yeah.
Whoa, I wanted to see if it had gills.
This episode, Flavor Flav, is going to show us the system that brings water to his house from Lake Michigan.
He's Mio in it. That's why he's Flavor Flav.
Yeah, they got a 2-mile crib, a 4-mile crib.
That's a crib.
Yeah, they have a whole background on all the cribs.
Those must be some big babies.
So they're kind of just water towers, but in the lake.
Yeah, they're underground like tunnels of such stuff.
Oh yeah.
In the Carter H. Harrison crib, some experts feared that pumping the tunnels dry would result in a catastrophic collapse, while others guaranteed that collapse was not possible. There's a lot of dispute.
Yeah, that's you can't.
Portions of the tunnel did in fact collapse. So some guys really came away with egg on their face on that one. City lawyers soon filed suit against the engineers and the contractors. Yeah, I hate when you're doing the group project. So certain people are like, it's not gonna fall apart.
It's like they guarantee that it would. How do you guarantee that? Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I hope those guys are the ones who paid for that lawsuit.
Well, they
I've
did.
seen
Yeah.
it in my head.
The city spent $5.3 million to fix it, but I guess they sued the engineers.
No, yeah, that was just how much they paid to fix it. That wasn't, I think, to do with the
Yeah, what does the
suit.
collapse mean? Does anyone die or anything?
I mean, I assume no, because it's just tunnels, right? They're
Yeah.
just tunnels with water, so it's probably just functionally inconvenient. I doubt anyone was down there.
Oh, so this was, by the way, this was in 1998
Oh, wow.
that this collapse and failure happened. This is only like 20 years ago. So it's not like this gives 1930s vibes to me, like 1930s scummy businessman.
Well, it makes sense that I guess it was the 90s
Sinclair
because they sued them.
cribs.
Also, like it says, the process was surrounded by controversy. I don't know if like a catastrophic collapse is minor enough to be a controversy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, is it a controversy when something bad just happens?
Yeah. It's the Carter H. Harrison crib wore blackface. Now that'd be a controversy.
Oh.
They painted it black. There's another one. During the construction of the tunnel to the Edward F. Dunn Crib, a temporary crib was built from shore. On the morning of January 20th, 1909, a fire broke out in the wooden barracks, which housed tunnel workers, and 70 men perished in the fire or drowned. Survivors took refuge on floating cakes of ice. Oh, cakes.
Whoa. January.
Yeah, it must be embarrassing to die in a fire when you're working in the water tunnels.
Water.
People think, oh, you must have been really stupid to do that.
Yeah, Carrie, do you have any further observations on this?
No.
This
Let's
thing.
see.
There's a couple other cribs.
A few other cribs.
Only 2 are active. Seems low.
Originally supplying 8 miles of water tunnels, the crib has since been designated as a standby crib. Okay, so this is a Wilson Avenue crib. So the crib has since been designated as a standby crib and is scheduled for demolition in the city's 2015 to 2019 capital improvement program. So I guess that happened. Did it happen?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is Wilson Avenue crib
It's
still
still
standing?
there.
Yeah. During COVID, then they were like, we need this crib still.
Yeah, never mind.
I mean, I don't know why you'd shut down a crib. You could always use water.
Yeah. Well, the Lawrence Avenue crib is abandoned and surrounded by the Lincoln Park landfill.
Now the sewer people live in that
That's
one.
kind of cool. It's like a big building. You probably go in there.
I'm sure a bunch of teenagers have died in there
Yeah.
doing various pranks. That's where the Morlocks live.
Well, that was like in New Jersey. They had this big elephant that's like a building. Have you ever seen this?
I don't think so.
It's called Lucy the Elephant, and
Oh wait, no,
it was a bar or something in like the 1910s or 20s or 30s, and then it was abandoned. So in the 70s, people just did horrible crimes and murdered each other there, and it feels super haunted because they found like covered in graffiti and like there was like human remains and stuff.
I mean, every town's got their place to do crimes or
Yeah.
abandoned spot.
But it was a big elephant outside
Big
Atlantic City.
elephant.
By where I grew up, there was an abandoned psychiatric center, and you would go there to, have your first kiss or do heroin. Kind of
Preferably not at the same
a
time.
varied set of experiences.
Yeah, there was an abandoned train station in Detroit that my friends and I would kind of sneak into to do some photography. And then, like, I remember one of my friends said, it smells like nail polish remover, and I was like, ooh, someone's doing their nails, and no, someone's smoking crack. I was like, are you sure? Someone's painting my nails. Anyways,
People come in here for different reasons, They might not be smoking crack.
That'd be cool if you were smoking crack and your mom's knocking on the door. It's like, I'm just painting my nails. That's what that smells.
I'm
It's not the
unpainting
crack.
my nails, Mom. I don't have to have beautiful nails.
Yeah. I didn't know that crack smelled like that, but now I know.
Yeah.
You never smelled crack?
I've smelled crack for a moment where on the subway there was a guy just openly smoking crack.
Yeah, I love those guys.
And it smells like burning plastic, is my
Yeah.
experience. But I don't know if that's crack. I don't know. Could have been something else.
It might have been like K2.
Yeah, I don't know. True, yeah.
Bad.
That sounds familiar to my K2 experience. Another guy just on the subway openly smoking K2.
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
I mean, it's not ideal. He had like a nice rig, so it kind of looked like a guy who was just vaping.
He does it all the
Whatever
time.
he was doing, like, seemed very neat. I thought it was just a guy vaping, which I wouldn't have cared that much about. And so I definitely breathed in some K2, and I was like, I gotta go. And I just got off at the stop and changed cars.
My favorite member of the Spice Girls, K2 Spice.
Yeah, she didn't make it out of the 90s.
No.
Did not.
Yeah.
And well, now maybe the nail polish. See, this was when I still lived in Michigan, which was a while ago. So maybe they moved. Maybe there's no longer nail polish remover. Maybe now it's just plastic. I don't know.
Yeah, the quality of the crack has gone down.
Yeah.
Well, now they got flavored cracks for the kids. It's all like watermelon
It's
ice.
called Galaxy Crack. You can buy it in the bodega.
Oh.
Nice.
They got coffee flavor, tobacco flavor. All right.
Candy crack.
That's the game that people love playing on their phones. Candy crack.
Candy
My
crack.
mom she makes I think it's like a saltine cracker, and she melts chocolate and butter on it and puts almonds. It's delicious, but she calls it cracker candy. but then we started calling it crack candy, and then kind of poking fun at people that have horrible
Hey,
problems.
Candy crack is what I call Candy Crush because I can't fucking stop playing it.
Okay, I'm gonna hit.
I'm at work and I can't stop.
I'm hitting the article. Oh, I got Akan Hali Tumkur.
Holly.
Akanahali Tumkur. Akanahali is a village in the southern state of Karnataka, India. It is located in the Chiknaya Kanhali Taluk of Tumkur district.
And that is about all the information we have on it.
It's a village. I don't know anything about Tumkur. I'm going to hover over that.
Yeah, let's learn about Tumkur, if anything.
It is a city and headquarters of the Tumkur district in Karnataka. It's known for Siddhaganga Matha.
Yeah, it's a 1.5 hour drive from Bengaluru.
It hosts India's first mega food park. Which we don't have those here.
Yeah, I want to go to a
Is that
mega
just like
food park.
A mall food court?
Yeah, but like bigger. That's actually a fantastic idea.
There's also a project of the Ministry of Food Processing, so the government built it, which sounds delicious.
The food processors have released the food park. It's like Jurassic Park, but it's a bunch of like funnel cakes that are alive.
This does have a picture of where this is located in India. It's near the southeastern coast. It's inland, but it's not. I feel like northern India. That's where a lot of the stuff that we know is, right?
I mean, I don't know much about any part of India that much.
Really speaking out of turn here.
I mean, what happened in northern India, Tom? Give me the summary.
Well, the real North India is the border to China, so there's a huge military conflict that's happening right now there, and then there's also Nepal, which India is trying to like attack, colonize, and so is China. So that's like real northern India.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in like the center middle is where I forget the major cities in India.
Calcutta.
What's
the other one?
Mumbai.
In there.
Is there another one?
I mean, I'm sure there are many.
But like
others.
the major cities that
A
like,
lot of people
Americans
live
would
there.
know, I think are in like the central/north part, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, those are
complete bullshit.
Exposing my ignorance of India. But don't worry, India. It's nothing personal. I don't know anything about any countries.
Yeah.
Look at this is the 2011 census.
Oh, you've clicked another page, I see.
The 2011 census of the languages of Tumkur City. First one, I don't know.
Canada?
Canada?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The official language is Canada.
Yeah.
Which is a classical Dravidian.
It's a bit misleading.
Then Urdu.
Those are like those people on Twitter who like are.
Someone told me Urdu and.
You can't leave your moms in the hood on God. You remember that lady? You remember the lady with the big Toronto accent?
Oh yeah, the Drake
like,
one.
Yeah,
the Toronto accent.
Well, not like worse than Drake. There's like people who are like, it's just like the worst combination of Canada and like
Okay, here's my question. This not to interrupt that thought completely.
No, I can't do the accents.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna get you out of here, Matt. This article's been translated into 3 languages: South Azerbaijani, Persian, and Vietnamese in English. Not any of the language we just referred to. So what the hell is up with that?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess it's not for them to know.
Also, all the sources of the article are from like 2008, so anything could have happened here. Okay.
All right.
This is a bad one.
Let's hit another one.
Yeah,
Carrie,
Carrie,
get us out of here, Carrie.
Getting you out. Okey doke. Let's see. Wait a minute.
Beam us up.
Beat
me up, Scotty.
Wow.
Okay, so mine is the 2004 to 2005 New York Islanders season.
Oh,
okay.
That's pretty good.
I mean, yeah.
So it was the
I don't think the team was
33rd.
great.
I like these articles. This is actually one of my favorite variation of articles on Wikipedia. Is I don't know. I like these like seasons they have them for every sports team. They have them for college sports teams. They have like usually they have like full backgrounds of like who was on the team and like major events that happened if they did good, whatever. So it's fun.
So it was
This is the lockout year. It wasn't even a real season.
But yeah, I remember this because I was really into hockey whenever I was like 6, 7.
Yeah, so they had a lockout. The season did not finish. In the offseason, though, they chose Petteri Nokalainen as their first round pick.
Is that a good
16th
guy?
overall. Not really.
Okay.
He was like a regular guy.
Oh, and he's Finnish, not Russian.
He's Finnish?
He's
No, he's
Finnish.
Finnish. Not because I remember the Detroit Red Wings had a bunch of Russian hockey
Oh yeah,
players.
all those cold
Yeah.
countries, they got plenty of guys over there.
I
Is this
forget
like-
what his name was, but one time during a game he just went, "I kill your mother and put her in the pot." or something.
That's all Russian people to me.
Awesome.
This is, I will say, that this is I guess with the cancel season, this is a bad article because like
Shoot.
no games happened. I guess we'll take a look at all the players.
The team was not great. Oh, they signed Adrian Aucoin. He's good.
Yeah, I don't know anything I can't ice skate, and I really wanted to be good at hockey when I was a kid, but I can't ice skate, and I have bad balance, so I don't hate hockey.
How many
but,
times did you try?
like a lot,
Oh.
like for years,
That's
and then I
right.
tried again as a middle schooler, and then again as an adult, and I still can't do it. So I don't like hockey very
Yeah,
much.
this is not a great era from the Islanders to my memory. Yeah, you know what? They did make a lot of good signings.
They got a bunch of guys from the AHL. Is that the minor league?
Yeah, that's the minors.
Oh, okay.
That's
I see.
very normal. Yeah.
Draft picks. There's some Russians. There's one Russian player.
Yeah, where are they getting guys? Finland, Czech, Sweden,
Canada,
kind of the usual suspects.
Yeah, Sergei Overgorodnikov is one of the most Russian names I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
entire life. Oh, he died.
Oh no.
So in June 2018, if you hover over him, he died in his jet ski accident.
Oh my God.
That's terrible. I don't know. I'm sad.
Well, you know what? Oh, does that mean that? Do you think did his hockey career go well? No, it did not. Looking at what he's listed as playing as, I don't think he ever made it to the NHL.
He's a third rounder. I guess
But-
this is one of those leagues where they draft like too many people though.
I mean, they do that in every league.
Not in the NFL.
Yeah,
They
they,
do a
I mean,
little
even the
bit in
NFL, only
but,
like 2 of the 5 guys they draft
Yeah.
make the NFL.
The NBA and the NFL tend to use some of the people though. Like, I mean, maybe not the 5th, 6th rounds of the NFL, but like, I feel like in baseball and hockey they draft
Well, because they have
people who
minor
are,
league
like
systems,
random guys.
so you have to fill out those rosters.
Yeah, exactly.
But R.I.P. Sergey. I'm glad he didn't make the NHL, but he did have enough money to buy a jet ski. So I
Yeah.
think
No,
that's
what if
pretty
he's just
cool.
ranting? That's even sad.
Don't put that sadness on him.
Out of respect for the dead, let's say you bought it.
yeah, he probably bought it. Yeah.
He bought it.
You bought it.
There was a college, a junior ice hockey team called the Medicine Hat Tigers, which sounds pretty fun.
That's awesome.
It's like a tiger with a doctor's hat.
The one guy who was signed by them in free agency in 2004 doesn't have a Wikipedia page. And that seems crazy.
I guess it must not have gone well for him.
Like, the 2 guys they drafted at the end of the draft don't, but that seems like they're just random guys.
Well, yeah, I'm sure those guys just like never saw the light of day.
Yeah. I'm going to hover over some of these guys. Blake Como. He's wearing a Penguins jersey. Must be pretty cool.
You're filling in that air.
Wes O'Neill. Steve Regier. No, there's nobody here who has a very fun name. I want somebody who has a ridiculous name.
No, yeah. I guess Michael Pecco was the captain at that point, which adds it up. That guy played on every team, though, so it's weird that he was the captain.
Yeah.
And, yeah, all right. This is fine. Let's move on. I'm going to hit the article button.
Okay.
Just kind of a list of guys. Most of them didn't even make the NHL.
Yeah, the Islanders suck. Let me just say that. Anyways.
Yeah, they certainly did then. All right, Cleaners and Allied Independent Workers Union.
Oh, this works for our leftist podcast.
We are leftist, by the way, guys.
Yeah, this is Carrie. I know you're MAGA, but this
Yeah,
is a leftist
oh, man.
This
podcast.
is like we like having other points of view on, so it's not like a big deal. All right, the Cleaners and Allied Independent Workers Union is an independent grassroots trade union which represents cleaners in Britain. The CAIWU was founded in 2016. WU. is the tough
WU.
one. Since 2021, the union has been led by its General Secretary, Alberto Durango, Broken Link. As of December 2023, Kaiwu, like Caillou, had 1830 members. The union mainly organizes precarious migrant workers, with around 90% of the Kaiwu's members being immigrant workers, the majority of which are Latin Americans. Wait, isn't it British? Or I guess they're Latin Americans who come to Britain?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
In 2024, the Kaiwu criticized the Starmer ministry for
Whoa.
renegading.
Not the word. They're looking for reneging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
not renegading.
Renegading on a promise to end outsourcing.
Yeah.
Boo.
Jose Garcia Oliva created the Latin American Protest Archive, which included protest materials such as posters, leaflets, and placards created by members for Kaiwu campaigns. So yeah, it's a nice little union, not a ton of information on them. They're opposed to Keir Starmer, which I can get behind.
Me too.
That guy's a weird loser.
Yeah. Also, and outsourcing. They're cleaning. How do they outsource that?
Yeah, that seems like a bad business to outsource. You know, you got a guy on a computer in India who can clean your room for you.
I do like the logo a lot. That was the first thing I noticed, is that the logo is very nice.
People of any race can join this union.
3 hands collapsing. It's very, very nice logo. It's got that the pattern on the outside.
3 bumps.
Yeah, they're kind of all fist bumping. Yeah, what's up with that? Well, yeah, they're not. What?
They're just boys.
Yeah, but that's. I just realized that is a weird. Why are they fist bumping?
Well, like the two guys are like the 2 guys on the bottom are like kind of doing a normal fist bump, and then that third guy is like coming up from the air, like Batmaning down.
Yeah, that guy. Well, that's the Keir Starmer ministry. They're all white, crashing down on the 2 people. They're just trying to unite, who are people of color.
We're trying to have a nice two-person fist bump, and it's being ruined by this white dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably all we can get out of this.
Now we can talk about the British politics.
Yeah.
Carrie, you have any opinions on the British political
Keir
system?
Starmer, kind of a douchebag.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jeremy Corbyn, that was a cool guy. And then you know the singer Morrissey?
Yeah. Cool guy.
He supported the party that was too racist for Nigel Farage, who's the not the Brexit, but like
He's UKIP, right?
UKIP, yeah.
He supported UKIP, or is there a more racist?
No, Morrissey
There's a more
supported the more
racist
racist party.
UKIP. There's a lot of I don't know, I didn't know this until a little while ago, but like a big part of Brexit was like they were saying, ooh, Turkey might join the EU. So then,
Yeah, we don't want to be in the EU with those turkeys.
And then Turkey.
I'm just kidding, Turkey.
Wow. Turkey then completely sabotaged it by having a dictator take power and just completely destroying all the progress they made in like 50 years.
Hey man, we don't know what that's like here.
Wow. True.
Anyway,
in college I would meet Turkish people and I would ask them what they think of Erdogan, who's the guy, and they would be like, I don't like him very much.
I knew a Turkish guy in college whose last name was Erdogan.
Really?
Yeah.
Any relation?
I don't think so. I think it would have come up.
I don't know. Maybe he's not a good guy. You know?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna decide whether this guy was a good guy or not, but he probably wasn't.
I like how the Starmer Ministry is its own Wikipedia page.
You know, I did see a thing recently, speaking of British politics, that apparently in like 2001, November 2001, Jeremy Corbyn was doing like an anti-war protest, and Chelsea Clinton showed up to break it up because she was at Oxford at the time.
She was doing a pro-war protest.
Which is so awesome.
Chelsea!
Yeah, it was her and a bunch of dudes, only girl, which, just sort of fits
kind of
the
just
persona you're thinking of.
yeah.
Want to hear my Chelsea Clinton impression?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Beat your fucking ass is whose daughter I am.
What?
Did she say that once?
Is that a thing she said?
I think she would say
I mean, yeah, it sounds like something she could say. Like, it
it.
sounds like a weird political, fail daughter thing
Yeah,
to
it sounds
say.
like a backwards comeback.
It sounds a little more
doesn't work.
like a Meghan McCain quote, like something she would say.
What if
My dad would beat up your dad before he got cancer.
No,
Yeah.
right. She's like one of John McCain's 6 children.
Yeah, the rest
His
of his
other
kids,
5 kids are normal?
I guess.
Presumably,
She's always
yeah.
saying, my dad couldn't lift me up before he said, and I was like, maybe he
What?
was trying to throw you in the trash.
he couldn't lift you, I mean.
Yeah, the joke that people made online is it's a little bit insensitive, but that she was too fat of a kid to get picked up.
Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know why you'd say that. It seems like you're setting yourself up for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, but Meghan McCain does have, her husband, Ben Dominic or whatever his name is, he famously wrote a bunch of articles calling her fat and ugly during the 2008 primary before they started dating.
So that's what he was into the whole time.
Well, no, I think she was into it. Well, I mean, both of them. But yeah, she was also like, dang, finally a guy who is calling me a fat pig when I'm 20 years old. My dad's running for president.
When she was a host on The View, I remember her saying that they went on a date and he bought her PF Chang's and she fell asleep.
Awesome.
She fell asleep at PF Chang's?
I guess they were in a hotel. I don't know. I think I go back and forth because I'm like, she doesn't love you whenever he's on TV, and then I'm like, he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a complicated
He killed your
relationship,
dad.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I've been on dates where we've had a PF Chang's equivalent, and then I've just fallen asleep after. You know, it happens. You eat PF Chang's, you're gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
You know, I remember Megan
Also,
McCain.
going to PF Chang's on the first date's a terrible. That's
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
sucks.
it's PF Chang's, and then let's go back to my hotel room.
Yeah, that's what you do with a prostitute.
Clearly, I've buttered you up enough.
That's-
It's time to go right to
that's how
bed.
you
Steal your
treat-
money.
Yeah.
Look at your text messages.
That's how you get like George
Fuck your
Costanza
dad.
tied to the bed.
In COVID, I went on a date with a girl from Twitter who was goth and depressed, and I picked her up from a home for women with mental illness,
Oh.
and then we went to Texas Roadhouse,
Oh.
and we
Well,
had,
that
we
ought
had
to
the
help.
most awkward meal of my entire life, and then I just dropped her off, and then never spoke to her again.
Oh.
Well, clearly, you weren't very charming.
No, I felt like bombing at stand-up.
Yeah.
It felt like being at a whole meal where I bombed at stand-up.
Yeah, man.
It was super weird, but it was also like whenever I was the most alone in the world. It was like August 2021.
Well, no, yeah, you're going for anyone who is willing
Yeah.
to see you in
Yeah.
any context.
Yeah, that's probably a low for me my whole life.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
But I did. Texas Roadhouse is pretty good.
I like Texas Roadhouse
Yeah.
for what
I'd
it
never
is.
been there before.
Oh, it's in. Do they have locations in New York?
I think upstate more.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like where they don't. New York City, I don't think they do. Maybe they do.
They might have one in New York City because everything has one in New York City, but
Yeah.
they definitely didn't have any on Long
Have
Island.
you been to a Texas Roadhouse?
No, I've been to Toby Keith's. I love this bar and grill.
Oh, hold on.
Same
Tell me about that experience.
Yeah,
This is the real story.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good, and then
Well, that's shocking.
my friend and I like prank called them just to go, hey, do you have any deals? And they kept putting us on hold, and
Oh.
then the hold music was the Toby Keith song. I love this bar. Yeah.
Wow. So they really pranked you.
Yeah, well, it was the 4th of July. We thought that they would have more.
That's the
Say
busiest
about
night
the
of the year at the
deals.
Toby Keith's I Love This
Yeah.
Bar and Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you didn't love it. You were like at neutral at best, if not.
neutral.
Yeah.
If not slightly negative.
On this bar and grill, yeah.
Sorry, I want to talk about Megan McCain again.
Yeah.
You remember
Oh, yeah.
in 2008-ish, she wrote a book with comedian Michael Ian Black
This-
where they were like, he's a Democrat and I'm a Republican, but we're friends. And the whole thing would be just a bunch of photo shoots of her like holding a gun and him holding like a peace sign or something, and then being like, oh, you scamp, we're still friends. We both love America and America's foreign interests.
Yeah.
He's a Zionist, right? Michael Ian Black.
He is definitely a bad politic guy.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically.
He's like a
about Zionism.
Biden Democrat / Zionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes defending his friend Megan McCain,
Yeah.
who he clearly just got like really hard friend zoned by for like a couple of years.
I remember after the Parkland shooting.
Okay.
No, but after it was like there was some like weird town hall thing with all the kids, David Hogg and
Oh
then
yeah,
Marco
man.
Rubio.
David
and the
Pog?
other- David Hogg.
Well, I guess that's already
Yeah,
pretty
David
funny.
Hogg. Yeah,
I don't
David
even
Hogg's
do
name
that.
is already dick.
But then it was like Marco Rubio, Dina, whatever her name is, from the NRA. And then, so on The View, Megan was super annoyed that people were mean to Marco Rubio. So she said, Marco Rubio went up there and got slaughtered. And I'm like, that's not the word. People were mean to him.
Marco Rubio walked up there and got shot in a high school.
In the face, yeah.
It was like they were killing a child up there.
Yeah.
Brutal
Oh,
to an innocent
horrible.
man.
My last note, I go back to Michael Ian Black. I thought Michael Ian Black was gay, because he plays a gay guy on the Jim Gaffigan show, which ran on TV Land in like 2015.
Kind
And
of a quality
so, and
channel.
I thought he was gay, and then he's not.
I mostly remember him from the movie Grandma's Boy, where he plays the antagonist.
No. Is he the?
He's like the video game guy, right? Like
No, the video game guy is the guy from Dodgeball, who's a nerd who ends up with the ugly Russian woman. Is that guy?
No, that's not Justin Long.
No.
That's Justin Long in Dodgeball.
No. Justin Long's getting the cheerleader. It's the weird guy who ends up with the Russian woman who's the dodgeball person.
No, Justin Long ends up with the Russian woman.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, so you want to bet? You want to fucking
I'll
bet?
fucking bet $20, dude. You owe me like 3 beers. I know it. He ends up with the cheerleader.
Was Michael Ian Black and whatever the sketch group?
Oh, maybe.
He definitely was. He's like a UCB.
He's like a UCB, then Twitter guy.
Vibe guy.
I don't remember what the show was called. Or maybe I'm confusing the. Doesn't matter.
Which one's the okay? Well, I'm gonna look up Grandma's Boy.
Well, no, I win the bet. Just to clarify, Justin Long and dodgeball ends up with the cheerleader.
It was hard to. I'm sure you're right. I don't know why I was so confident.
You were so insistent. It's a bad. The guy in. He's like the weird. Michael Ian Black might be in Grandma's Boy, but I don't know if it's.
He's not.
No, it's the guy.
I forgot Linda Cardellini was in it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie that's similar.
Yeah, he's kind of just a villain in life.
Yeah, whatever. I can't do this anymore.
Okay, I win. I'm right. Matt's wrong. Matt hit the right article button.
No, I just did. It's your turn.
Oh, Tajako Devos.
You gotta say it, Tom. You're getting the worst ones.
Tajako Devos, July 2nd, 1956. You found it?
I mean, you really don't even need to look at this one. It's not. There's not much information.
No. Tajako Devos, born July 2nd, 1956, is a Dutch former ice hockey player. It's kind of a hockey episode. He competed as a member of the Netherlands men's national ice hockey team at the 1981 World Ice Hockey Championship. He was undrafted in the NHL. Somehow, he was born in 1956, but his playing career ended in 2012.
Well, in other countries, it's like Jaromir Jagr now. He's like 50 and he's still playing in the Czech Republic because the level of play is just that low.
This guy was playing for the Amsterdam Tigers until he was 55.
I mean, it's important to clarify. Netherlands not a hockey country. No one plays it there.
Yeah, they got speed skating though because they got weird long legs.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of fast skating weaklings. Don't even bother.
No, they're strong,
it's fine.
dude.
There's nothing on this page.
I know a bunch of Dutch people.
Here you go. Like there's nothing to look at. It's fine.
He's 68 now, still alive. His birthday's coming up July 2nd. So on July 2nd, make sure to wish happy birthday to Tajako Voss.
Yeah.
I thought it was like related to Betsy DeVos.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm sure that's where that name goes back.
Yeah. What's Tajako? What the fuck's up with that?
I mean. Who knows, man? If we had any information on him at all, we could try to make some guesses.
Okay, this is a dud, Carrie. You can hit the
Carrie, just hit that button. Sorry to Jocko. If you want to be on the podcast, you're welcome.
Okay.
Ooh.
Mound of Dam Pier.
Mound.
Okay.
Is it Mound of Dam Pier or Mound of Dam Pier?
Dam space dam.
Okay. Dam. Okay. Is an ancient archaeological heritage at Manirampur. Upazilla of sorry. Okay. Reading is fucking in Bangladesh. It is thought to be the most ancient relic of Bangladesh, which is about 1,800 years old. Wow, that's old. It is located at the village.
That's pretty old.
Located at the village sonogram of
Sonogram.
Yeah, the village of Sonogram. That's where they invented the sonogram.
They actually found them naturally.
What's the mound was thought to be the evidence of the period of the Senate dynasty of sultans. I like
the heading antiquity of the mound.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy. I like older ladies too, baby. Oh.
But the concept was changed after digging it more. Now nobody thinks the mound is only 300 or 400 years old.
I like this is also a little badly translated.
This is written by
but just like a charming way.
The local people and experts think it to be the contemporary of the ancient civilization of the Buddhist Bihar at Lalmai Pahar. Even it may be more ancient than that. Yeah,
this is definitely a good translation case.
Well, I like it. It's a weird translation case, but it seems like someone has a loose grasp of English and they just wrote it. Maybe. Because the vibe is like, it's a conversational.
Yeah, it is a little okay, here in the history section. The experts think that at first the Buddhists lived here. After that, the Hindus lived here. And the Muslims came here at last. It's written like a children's book.
Yeah. Most probably, which is Yeah, I don't like that.
Most
They made a
probably.
dormitory of saints for preaching, all caps, linked article to the idea of a saint.
Like a Bjork song.
Which-
Possibly.
I don't think
maybe.
they don't have saints in anything. In
I mean, I'm
Islam.
sure they have some equivalent. That might be a translation
Yeah.
thing.
Dam Dam was named after the sounds created while walking on the mound.
Damn.
It used to be heard like damn, damn. So, such a name was chosen. But the local people could not say anything about why such kind of sounds were created. And what is said seems to be fictions.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're like, yeah, wait, why does this hill make a damn sound when you walk on it? And they're like, I don't know, I don't think it's true. I think it's all fake.
It's not a real sound. It is heard from the older people of the village that a dormitory of a saint named Mongol Shah was a little distance away from the mound of Dam Dam Pier. Once the local people used to come here to pray for curing from different kinds of diseases and wished to offer money, hens, goats, etc. for curing. After curing from diseases, they used to slaughter the offered animals and perform religious conducts here. But now the activities are less than the past.
Why? Why'd they stop doing that?
Nobody
What
knows.
was invented?
I don't know. Nobody knows actually from when the conducts are being performed.
This is 6 sentences. There is a large tank beside the mound. There are several old stories about it. Pots used to
Don't
come
tell
here,
me any of them.
floating along the water. Someone used to call here at night. Slaughtering of human beings, etc. are some of them. They really bury the lead. Pots floating on water or slaughtering of human beings, etc.
In 1986, the local people established a madrasa attached to the mound. While constructing the madrasa, a brick wall was uncovered from the mound. The incident triggered much. Thousands of people from far and near came here to see the rooms, which were hidden under the ground for thousands of years. Thus, the name of Mound of Dam Dam Pier were spreading everywhere.
There were 7 unknown flower trees near the well beside the tank. There is a hearsay that the trees were planted 1,800 years ago. 3 of those trees died with the passage of time. The rest 4 trees are still alive now.
The main attraction of the tank is the alive flower trees inside the water, which remain like dead 6 months of a year, and after 6 months become alive when tender leaves and flowers are seen on the trees.
Oh, we missed the well. There is a
Yeah.
well near the tank. There are several stories about the.
Oh,
Can you read
okay.
this? Several stories about the well, such as when any ceremony was held at any home of that area, and any virgin girl came. Any virgin girl came to the well and told the well about the ceremony of her home. Then, within a few moments, golden plates, spoons, bowls, etc. will be found beside the well. After using, they had to return those things, and those things would be vanished after keeping them beside the well. So the tank was named as Kumari Digi, Tank of Virgin.
Nice.
Wow.
It's a
I'm trying to see where this is cited all from one guy named Duke Kahn. If you go to the references,
Oh, yeah,
every
just like
article is by Duke Kahn.
5 things Duke Kahn wrote.
I think Duke Kahn wrote this Wikipedia
2013.
article. I think this is written by Duke Kahn, and he's just making shit up.
way to go, Duke.
Let's go to talk.
Yeah, I don't know about this article. I think it seems to be fictions.
Yeah, I don't.
Seems to be-
Also, the picture of the mound is not. It's literally a mound. It's literally like a pile of dirt with grass on it.
Stranger than fictions.
I guess so. It was like a pile of dirt with grass on it. But whenever you stomped on it, it would make like a loud banging noise.
Yeah,
You
damn!
know?
The mound's like, damn!
So
Ow,
then they're like, well, what the fuck is this? So they started digging into it in the 1900s, and now it's kind of a minor tourist attraction in Bangladesh.
Yeah, man, you want to go see the hill? Sorry, the mound. It's not quite a hill.
The hill, the mound.
Well,
I'm viewing the edit history, which I don't think we've done before.
we need to know what happened to these people.
Duke Kahn wrote this. Duke Kahn wrote this entire article and all the sources related to it. I don't know if this is real at all. This seems made up. Besides the
What?
picture.
You're doubting the story of the tank of version?
Yeah, I don't know if it's in the 1800s.
I like how it's just like
Or
a well
1800 years old.
that apparently, if you're a virgin, you can go there and get plates and spoons and bowls, but then you have to return them.
You
they're
send
golden.
them, return.
It just seems like the next person is finding the bowl and plates that the last person put back.
Yeah. Also, I don't believe. Look, the oldest. This is the oldest structure in Bangladesh. It's only 1,800 years old, meaning it's from like 200.
Yeah, that's not that.
That's not that old. Like, there's a cave in the United States in like Pennsylvania that's like 10,000 years old.
Yeah, there's got to be older
So there's
stuff.
got to be
than
older
that.
shit than this. I would assume. I don't know. Like, it's just something.
Look, but it's very interesting because first, Tom, the Buddhists live there, but then the Hindus live there,
Then the
but then the Muslims live there.
At last.
At last.
At last. At long last.
Finally.
The signs and existence of 3 civilizations have been detected here. Civilization, didn't use an S. Yeah, this is definitely all one guy who learned English as a second language, just kind of free writing his shit.
It's good practice. Good practice for your new language. He's doing a great job, really, better than I could do. I'm gonna hit the button.
cool.
This is a cool article.
I like this one. All right, Julia Behr.
How do you spell it?
Behr.
Oh, it's the paint.
Julia Behr was a Berlin-born artist who settled in Britain and exhibited portrait paintings on a regular basis during the last quarter of the 19th century. I could read the whole thing.
She was 1865 to 1890s. She died.
At some point. Behr was born in Berlin and arrived in London with a letter of introduction. I had to fix this.
I hope it doesn't fuck up our audio.
Arrived in London with a letter of introduction from the Princess of Prussia. Yeah, she got sent with a letter saying, "This is our shitty painter. She's yours now." Although Behr had a book published while still a teenager, she concentrated on painting, attending art classes in both Paris and Brussels, where she exhibited a portrait of her mother. In Paris, she studied under Ari Scheffer, which just sounds like any guy who does comedy.
Sounds like Ari Shafir.
Ari Shafir.
That is the guy who does comedy.
Well, yeah,
It's like the roast guy.
I guess, yeah. Her portraits, which were often of literary subjects, including some which were full life-size, received critical praise.
In 1864.
Yeah, she showed the painting Little Crown Maker at the Berlin exhibition. Between 1865 and 1974, Behr exhibited a number of works at commercial galleries in London. Her portrait of General Kupka's wife was shown in Brussels in 1869. She had at least 3 works shown at the Royal Academy in London during 1873 and 1874. Behe, I guess that's a typo, also exhibited at the Society of British Artists, the Royal Hibernian Academy, and in 1876 with the Society of Women Artists. The previous year, Behr showed a portrait of Mademoiselle Pateau in Brussels. Also, I guess...
So she wasn't... She denotes that she was active 1865 to 1890.
Yeah,
So
that
I don't
makes
know
more
when she was
sense.
born and when she died. So she probably was born like 1815. She probably died sometime after the 1890s.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Well, she painted some stuff.
Yes, there's no pictures of her paintings. There's no pictures of her.
Let's see, Ari Scheffer was a Dutch-French romantic painting. He was known mostly for his works based on literature. So these guys were just like illustrators.
Yeah, but they were doing Dante, Goethe. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Goethe,
Lord Byron.
Caretaker, yeah.
Walter Scott. I always think that Walter Scott's like not a fancy enough name for. He's a poet.
Walter Scott sounds like a basketball coach.
Yeah, Walter. Exactly.
Yeah.
It sounds like an announcer on ESPN. It doesn't sound like a Scottish poet who like he was gay, right?
I mean, he was a poet. I'm just kidding, poets.
No, yeah.
Especially you straight girl poets out there.
But I feel like the Julia Behr was like one of the original Tumblr girls. You know, she did a little bit of writing, she did a little bit of painting.
She did it all.
She was a teenager. She
I like
kinda filled
how
out.
she showed up in Berlin and she had a letter from the princess being like,
Well, she showed up in London.
oh, whatever. Oh, born in Berlin and she had it. Yeah. But you know what? I like how she got a letter of recommendation, sort of a Nepo baby move.
Yeah. Oh, that's it, Bob.
There's
There's
a
one, he's
a
back.
reference.
Like he's back to attack us. I don't know if it's visible on camera.
Yeah, Tom, just give it a give that a hit. Let's get it.
Julia,
come on the podcast.
Julia, I wish you were alive.
I'm sure you're so beautiful.
Ruth Patterson,
Ooh.
politician.
Okay, we might be in here somewhere.
Ruth Patterson, born October 1955, is a former Northern Irish Unionist politician who was deputy Lord Mayor of Belfast between 2006 and 2007, and then 2011 to 2012. She served as the High Sheriff of Belfast 2004-2005, and she was a Belfast City Councillor until 2019, initially for the Balmoral DEA, later botanic.
Well, I cannot support a unionist.
Yeah, so what is a unionist?
Unionist means they're pro Northern Ireland existing. They're pro like the separation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
so
wants to
she's-
keep being high sheriff.
She's garbage. She loves being part of the UK. Imagine wanting that.
Yeah.
People fight entire wars to get out of the UK.
Wow, yeah, she is.
Ooh, yeah. She notably refused to shake the hand of the Sinn Féin Lord Mayor Niall O'Donnell. Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, Niall O'Donnell.
Niall O'Donnell.
Yeah, you know the thing that connects your iPhone to
Niall
the
O'Donnell.
Nor responded to his congratulations. O'Donnell said, I wanted to wish her congratulations. It is unfortunate she refused to accept them. And this is in
Patterson later
2011.
claimed she had a hearing impediment, so was unable to understand O'Donnell's congratulations. On August 2, 2013, Patterson was arrested and subsequently released in charge with grossly offensive communication after commenting on a Facebook post. The post in question was in response to a planned Republican parade in Castledurg to commemorate the deaths of 2 IRA men who were killed by their own mob, to which some users imagined an attack on the parade. Patterson responded by saying, "We would have done a great service to Northern Ireland and the world if there had been an attack on the parade."
Whoa.
She later apologized for. She's a real piece of shit. She later apologized for the remarks, blaming it on a lapse of judgment. Patterson
Yeah,
attended
yeah.
Belfast Magistrates Court on August 22nd, 2013, in which he pleaded not guilty to the charge. The charge was dropped in December that year, with Patterson saying, "I'm absolutely delighted. Justice has been done."
Yeah, would it be like Facebook comments?
He got arrested for a fucking Facebook comment. Free speech.
It's
in
a
America.
different country, man.
This is cool. In March 2014, during a council meeting, she tabled a motion for the council to recognize the work of retiring Linfield FC manager David Jeffrey, that's the football club, notably wearing a Linfield scarf while delivering her motion.
Oh, that sucks. That's like when like Kathy Hochul wears like a Bills jersey and it's
Yeah.
like, "I'm normal."
But she'd be like, she didn't like the head coach. And then she was interrupted by Sinn Féin's group leader Jim McVeigh, which is also the name of a Brooklyn comedian who I've never met, who questioned the deputy Lord Mayor chairing the meeting, Christopher Stalford, as to whether she was allowed to wear the scarf. Stalford responded to McVeigh, telling him to stop acting like a petulant child, and accused him of turning the meeting into a circus.
This is pretty good, alright.
Dude, these Irish people are so. See, they should join Ireland because they're just goofing off anyways.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I would expect Irish people to do.
Yeah. I don't know. Right, wait.
She was vocal about her opposition to Emma Pengelly's selection to replace Jimmy Spratt as South Belfast MLA, saying, "Emma is young, academic, and nice looking, but that doesn't give her the right to a seat she hasn't earned. I'm a great believer in earning your stripes. Politics shouldn't be about a membership of a golden circle. You have to be a foot soldier first, to have knocked doors and worked for constituents. Emma hasn't done that." I like how she calls her nice looking.
What's the TUV? Is there a word for that? Is that like the trans union?
I mean, I'm sure that's just like a party. Yeah, it's a unionist political party.
Yeah, so she joined them in 2021, and she wants to do it because she hates the other unionist party. I don't know.
It's the art of rating.
But she joined them in contrast for her support for same-sex marriage as well as abortion, which the other party is opposed to. So she hates other Irish people so much that she's willing to forego gay people and abortion rights just to kind of stick it to them.
Weird.
She's a weird lady.
Yeah. She didn't like the Republicans, which means something different.
I want-
does.
Yeah, they're those are the better guys.
They're the better.
Also, if you hold over Emma Pengelly, the woman that she said was smart and nice looking, like she's okay looking.
Well, come on, Tom.
I mean, just like I don't know, she's not attractive enough to warrant a weird
I think
comment
she's
from the other
beautiful,
lady.
Tom.
I think she's attractive. But
Tom,
I
Jesus
don't-
Christ.
she
You
called-
piece of shit.
What I'm
Anyway.
saying is, she tried to insist that she was only getting the job because she's attractive and young, and it seems like she's just as normal qualified.
Hey, look, in Northern Ireland, that's the hottest thing.
That's the hottest person.
Irish people melt like mashed potatoes.
Carrie, are you Irish?
Yeah.
I am as well. That's why I can say it.
My parents lie about being Irish all the time. They're Scots-Irish.
They're like Joe
Scottish.
Biden.
No, but he's Irish like a little bit.
Yeah, a
My
little bit.
parents just like aren't.
He's
at
a
all.
German.
0%.
American
They're
politicians love pretending they're not German. Like
I'm
Joe
German.
Biden and the Bill de Blasio, William Wilhelm.
Is that what his name is?
Yeah, his name is William Wilhelm.
Well, yeah, traditional unionist voice is what TUV stands for, and that sounds terrifying. Ruth Patterson, I hope you fucking choke.
It seems like most of her issues most of the political issues she deals with have to do with football clubs. There's another thing where she wants people to not support a football club that has a high-ranking Republican terrorist linked to it.
Well, that's fair.
I mean, no, terrorism is cool when it's for the Irish Republican.
Yeah, it's just a football game. He's just a hooligan. He's launching that bomb kind of as a football hooligan.
Look,
And
I mean,
this is at the point where the IRA is not like bombing people.
yeah, no, it's been a while since they've done anything like that. I'm sure that was like a guy who in the 90s.
I guess she grew up with that though, because she was born in 1955, so she's like lived through all the troubles and shit.
Yeah, well, everyone has troubles, okay, Ruth?
Yeah.
We all have problems.
Also, I like the name Lord Mayor of Belfast.
Alright, who's hitting the button next?
She also high share of Belfast. Also, apologies, Carrie, that our cat is sitting on your coat.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
Wait, am I hitting the button?
Yes, I got
believe
Ruth.
so.
I got Ruth.
Okay.
Peyton Hendershot.
Peyton Hendershot.
I've heard this name before.
He's a football
He's
player.
an American football tight end. He played college at football at Indiana.
Oh, that's why I know him.
Okay.
So he played against Penn State, or he's 25. Yeah.
Oh, he's a little.
He's
fella.
my age.
He's
Oh,
fun
his birthday's coming up. His birthday's 2 days before mine. Look at that.
Yes, he played for the Cowboys as an unsigned free agent, and he's traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's on the active roster. Then he was on the injured reserve, so that's why I know him.
I'm looking for silly quotes. Has he said anything funny? No, never.
He started a game for Travis Kelce in 2024, so that's why I've never heard his name before.
Okay. He's a bit of a handcuff.
Wait, here's where. Wait a minute. Oh wait. Okay. So he won against. He was on at Rutgers. Won against the University. Of
He had
Michigan. He
had 7 receptions for 51 yards against Penn State University in 2019, which is whenever I was in college at Penn State. So I was near this guy. I was inches away from him, in all likelihood.
Yeah, mostly just a bunch of football facts here. I guess he was on the Cowboys behind Dalton Schultz and Jake Ferguson, who are both real tight ends, so tough spot.
As a rookie, he appeared in all 17 games and started 2, though.
Good for him.
And he had 2 touchdowns.
He must have been running some weird lineup to get all those tight ends used.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He's 6'4" and 1/8".
Yeah, 6'4", 254. Solid head
Kind of a
size.
slow 40-yard dash at 4.78 seconds.
Yeah, he's a tight end.
Anyways, I see him beating the Detroit Lions or something. Detroit Lions, University of Michigan. I am not sure I would get along with this.
Yeah, he's taken out the entire state of Michigan. Yeah, this article.
He caught passes from Michael Penix.
Ooh, Michael Penis.
Yeah, Michael Penis. That's so ridiculous. That guy's life has to be hell. His last name is Penis.
Penis with an X.
Penis.
The only sexier letter.
His name is Penis.
Yeah, anyway, this is a very kind of clinical article about him.
Yeah, this guy seems like boring. This guy should do some more crazy shit.
Yeah, he should like
the NFL.
He should commit a crime or something. Get yourself in the news, Peyton.
He's also, I guess he's from Indiana. He's just fucking boring, man.
Right.
All right, I'm pressing the button.
Oh.
Oh, no, that was the wrong button. Different button. Okay, my article is June 1910. A whole month. June 1910. The following events occurred in June 1910.
Okay.
June 1st, Wednesday. The British.
This article's so funny.
The British Antarctic expedition, led by Captain Robert Falcon Scott, on the steamer Terra Nova, departed from London with 55 people and a goal of reaching the South Pole. Wow, that's pretty cool.
In December. Also,
Robert Falcon Scott.
Does the article look like this for you?
Yeah.
Where all the fucking pictures are fucked up?
A little bit. Mine's a little less than yours.
Also, did it go? Is it every single day of the month has its own?
It's about the month. The first white settlements on the banks of Alaska's Iditarod River were made when a steamer brought gold prospectors to within 8 miles of a gold strike.
Oh,
Not nearly close enough, honestly.
So that's where they had the dog race, I guess, later. All right, June 2nd, Thursday. Charles Stuart Rolls becomes the first person to fly across the English Channel and back again without stopping. Pretty cool.
This is back. I feel like they could do this because this was back when shit would. I guess shit happens every day now. But back then, the shit they were doing
Shit
was
didn't
like,
happen every day back then.
back then, they're like, I guess this specific time, there's like, we got a new flying machine and we're using it June 3rd, 1910.
Elections were held in Hungary, granting the ruling parties a larger majority in parliament. In fiction, June 2, 1910 is the date of Quentin Compton's suicide in William Faulkner's novel The Sound and the Fury.
Wow.
Arrested Development.
Should we be putting false fictional events on the
I don't
article?
know, I don't think so. Oh wait, we should just do, so Carrie, do June 3rd and we'll just go, we're gonna do this entire article and then we'll end it.
Yeah, you take June 3rd.
Okay. The Norwegian Antarctic expedition led by Roald Amundsen.
Wait, so these are like the big famous Antarctic expeditions, because Roald Amundsen's the guy who won. This was like the space race to Antarctica.
Yeah.
On the steamer Fram. I said Fran? Okay.
That's a
On the
worse
steamer
name than Terra Nova.
Terra Nova. Departed from Christiania, now Oslo, without fanfare, no announcement, until later in the year of Amundsen's intention to reach the South Pole.
So he was one of the people racing to get to the
Yeah,
South
but I
Pole.
like that. Don't tell everyone, because if it doesn't work out, you don't want everyone to be like, so what happened to the South Pole, Roald? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Wow. Ecuador withdrew their troops from the border between the two nations as the first step in the mediation of their dispute. I didn't even know Ecuador and Peru didn't like each other. That's pretty crazy.
June 4th, Saturday.
A group of Mayan Indian rebels attacked the town of Valladolid in Mexico's Yucatan, killed 40 people,
Oh,
including
no.
police.
Okay.
The Navy gunboat Morelos was dispatched from Veracruz to Merida. A ballet adaptation of Nikolai Rimsky's Shirazade was first presented in Paris. And Harvey Cushing performed his first sublabial submucosal transsphenoidal approach. What the fuck is that? While Oscar Hirsch performed his submucosal transsphenoidal operation.
Endonasally.
What is
Yeah,
that?
I feel like that is a sentence that could use some links.
Is that like surgery below your lips and below your nose and your...
Yeah, it seems like a surgery thing for sure.
On your face though, because it's labials, lips, and mucosal is like mucus.
June 5th, Sunday. William Sidney Porter, who under the pen name O. Henry, was one of the most popular story writers in America, died in New York City at the age of 47. O. Henry, who suffered from cirrhosis of the liver and diabetes, hey, get in line, buddy, had published more than 250 stories in his lifetime and more after his death. Crazy. Despite a large income from his writing, he was continuously broke. Yo, O. Henry kicks ass.
Yeah, why'd they shit on him? Did they shit like, oh, so this guy's broke as hell?
Yeah, he died at 47. He was an alcoholic and a fat piece of shit. And he was broke even though he wrote a ton of stories. Jean-Baptiste Charcot and the crew of the Antarctic exploring ship Pourquoi Paz returned to a hero's welcome in France. During the same week, Robert Scott and Roald Amundsen were beginning their expeditions to the South Pole.
The Nanking Exposition, as the World's Fair hosted by the Imperial Government, opened in China.
Pretty cool. June 6th, Monday. Carrie, you got this.
President Taft met with the presidents of the Western railroads, and then the next day with the presidents of the Pennsylvania Railroad, New York Central, and Southern Railway. All the companies agreed to suspend proposed rate increases. Isn't Taft the one who died in the
No, he just got stuck in a bathtub.
got stuck in the
Yeah, he,
bed?
didn't die. He survived.
People
the bathtub
shit on
incident.
Taft, but he busted the trusts for real. Like he did shit like this where he prevented like rate increases by companies. He also is the only person to serve in the legislative, executive, and judicial. He's a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, so Taft is funny because he wanted to be a Supreme Court justice like his whole life, like childhood
And
dream
he had to
status.
be president.
And they like kind of pushed him into running for president instead, and he like didn't like it. But then he eventually got his wish and got to be a Supreme
But
Court
yeah, everyone makes
justice.
fun of him for being fat. He's
Yeah,
arguably
why?
He's like a decent
he's
president.
one of the best presidents ever. I would
We
argue.
should make fun of President Garfield. President Garfield got shot, and then he had a doctor named Dr. Bliss who thought that they were looking for the bullet with dirty hands, so they're like poking around in the bullet. So he ended up dying of sepsis.
Goofing off with the president.
Man.
The president.
Garfield the cat really takes after his moronic namesake.
Okay.
June 7th, Tuesday. An earthquake that struck southern Italy at 3 a.m. killed scores of people. Mexican troops were dispatched to suppress an uprising by Maya Indians in Yucatan. Kind of returning to that story.
This one's so stupid.
The towns of Byron, Wyoming, and Bucota, Washington were both incorporated. That seems pretty minor.
That seems like it doesn't need to be concluded here.
June 8th, Wednesday.
John W. Campbell, American science fiction pioneer, editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine,
Sounds fun.
in Newark, New Jersey, was born.
As was C.C. Beck, American comic book author, primarily of Captain Marvel. In
Okay.
Zumbrota. Yeah, a lot of two comic book guys getting born on the same day. Pretty cool.
June 9th, Thursday. Carrie.
Prince Arthur, Duke of Connaught, Strathern, and uncle of King George V of the United Kingdom, was announced as the successor to Earl Grey.
The
As
T.
Earl Grey, the T, as
Yeah.
Governor General of Canada. Japan and Russia reached an agreement on the division of territory in the Far East.
June 10th,
Wow.
Friday.
That seems, well, the Japan and Russia seems like pretty foreboding of the future. Just some random day, they're like, we'll divide it like this.
I think it's good. I think this is post they had like their war before this.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's actually a good.
Because Japan beat the shit out of them out of nowhere.
Sir Charles Hardinge, British Undersecretary for Foreign Affairs, was appointed as the Viceroy of India. Yeah, that's going to go well. Succeeding the Earl of Minto. And two people were born. Armin Takhtajan, Soviet Armenian botanist, creator of the Takhtajan system for plant taxonomy. And Professor Backward.
Oh, this is awesome.
The stage name for James Edmondson, American comedian in Atlanta, murdered 1977.
Some fucking guy was Professor Backwards.
Yo, I'm Professor. He's just like, yeah, my act is that I do things backwards on stage.
This is one of,
And one day someone finally stood up to him and murdered him.
this is one of those sentences where it keeps getting better because you're like Professor Backwards, comedian, murdered. Like, what the fuck? I'm hovering over this.
Yeah,
guy.
he was on the Ed Sullivan Show, the Tonight Show, the Merv Griffin Show, the Dean Martin Show. Those are all the good
Why
shows.
was he murdered? I want to read about this so fucking bad.
I don't know. We have to look this up independently. We can never
We
find
gotta
out.
look it up.
June 11th, Saturday.
Wait, what? We should come up with the reasons why somebody murdered him.
Yeah, why did someone kill Professor Backwards? Because of his backwards political views.
Because of great inflation.
Yeah, as a professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he would wear if you wear one of those graduation caps all the time.
Doesn't really look. Yeah.
He wore a backwards hat in the wrong neighborhood and was believed to be a rival, a member of rival gang.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay.
They thought his name was Professor Backwoods, so they smoked him.
Wow.
Yeah.
June 11th, Saturday. Who's next?
You.
In a referendum to determine the permanent location of the capital of Oklahoma, voters favored Oklahoma City over the existing state capital of Guthrie by a margin of 96,000 to 31,000.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm in Oklahoma voting on the state capital, I'm like, well, it should probably be Oklahoma City. It's called Oklahoma City. If it's not Oklahoma City, kids are going to be confused by this trivia question for the rest of time.
And then they declared the Lee Huckins Hotel there to be the new capital until a permanent structure was built. So they moved they did a fucking Capitol building in the Lee Huckins Hotel.
That sounds like a particularly the Applebee's
and then,
hotels.
for our Wes Anderson friends, born Jacques Cousteau, French undersea. Jacques Cousteau, French undersea explorer.
Yeah. June 12th, Sunday.
This is such a fucking long. Okay.
This rules. Carrie, it's you.
Torrential rains caused record floods throughout Central Europe. The Aar River overflowed.
The Pirate River.
The Aar River overflowed in Germany, killing 200 people around An armed mob in the town of Darrington, Washington, drove out 30 Japanese workers who had recently been hired by the U.S. lumber company. The men were given until Sunday morning to gather their effects, then placed on a train bound for Arlington, Virginia. Okay.
Well, that's fucked.
That's rude.
There's just 30 Japanese guy working at a lumber mill, and they ran them out of town.
Yeah, you're like,
officially.
You're Texas's problem now.
That's like fucked. It's like they're just like trying to work at a lumber mill, man.
It's not even
There's
good.
30 guys.
All right, and
The Francisco Ferrer
Yeah.
Association.
Ferrer was created in New York City by 22 anarchists and sympathizers in the memory of Francisco Ferrari, who was a Spanish radical freethinker, anarchist, and educationist behind a network of secular private libertarian schools, libertarian pedophile schools.
Yeah, you said this guy seemed cool, and now he doesn't seem cool
Well,
anymore.
maybe being a libertarian meant something.
They built it near New Brunswick, New Jersey, which sucks. Okay, June 13th, 1910, Monday.
A 35-ton water tank located on top of the 4-story high Montreal Herald building fell through the roof after one of its supports collapsed, killing 32 people.
This is like a slapstick. We keep saying slapstick deaths over and over again.
Halley's Comet was no longer visible from Earth with the naked eye and would not be again until late 1985. June 14th, Tuesday. Tom.
The University of the Philippines, Los Baños, the bathrooms, was opened as a college of agriculture with 50 students taught by Dr. Edward Copeland. Again, doesn't seem significant enough to be featured in this article. And born Rudolf Kemp, German orchestra conductor in Dresden. Let's hover over him and see if he was a Nazi.
Yeah.
No, he just looks a little...
Yeah, all we get is Rudolf Kemp was a German conductor. The rest of the article seemingly scrubbed of his Nazi acts.
Yeah.
Just
conducted.
Some other things.
Didn't conduct anything else. Just music.
Are you June 15th?
June 15th, Wednesday, Carrie.
In a battle at Silege in Portuguese East Africa, now Mozambique, Portuguese soldiers fought against hundreds of African tribesmen. That's probably not exactly what happened. And reportedly killed more than 100 of them without sustaining casualties, meaning none of the Portuguese.
Yeah, it seems like it was just a bunch of guys with guns killing a bunch of guys without guns.
That doesn't seem like they fought against them. It seems like they just killed 100 people.
They just slaughtered guys.
And then they're like, well, yeah, it was a big fight.
One of them had a spear or something.
Born Suleiman Frangieh, president of Lebanon from 1970 to 1976.
June 16th, Thursday. A cloud burst in Hungary added to existing floodwaters, killing 800 people in villages in the Kronstadt district, another 180 in Temesvar, and 100 in Moldova. The United States Senate unanimously passed a bill extending statehood to the territories of Arizona and New Mexico.
Wow.
Admission as a state still required adopting a proposed state constitution, subject then to the approval of Congress and the president, as well as other procedures.
That's pretty fucking big.
And Juan Velasco Alvarado, dictator of Peru from 1968 to 1975, was born. June 17th, Friday.
Well, I was trying to say, that's pretty... This is fucking making new states in this shit. That's so cool. Imagine us having it now.
I wish they did that like every year.
June 17th, 1910, Friday, Portugal's Prime Minister, Francisco de Veiga Barral, resigned, along with his cabinet. No reason why provided. James A. Patton and several other men were indicted by a federal grand jury on charges of conspiracy to monopolize the raw cotton industry.
Yeah, more credit to Taft.
That's the Taft shit I was talking about. At Cotroceni near Bucharest, Romania, Oral Velecu successfully flew the Velecu-1 airplane that he had constructed, becoming a national hero and pioneer of military aviation in Romania.
You build one working plane and you're like the most famous man in Romania for 100 years.
He built a Romanian plane, it probably sucked. It was probably like made of wood.
He was the most successful Romanian until the guys who made Flow this year won the Oscar.
And now also Ari Kaplan.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Ari.
Yeah. The United States Lighthouse Service was created as a federal agency to regulate lighthouses throughout the nation. The office was transferred to the Coast Guard in 1935. The U.S. House of Representatives changed its rules in order to prevent bills from being held indefinitely in committee, which is crazy because you can still do that now. And born Red Foley, American country music singer, Madison County, Kentucky.
June 18th, Saturday. That'd be Carrie.
Yeah. The first ticker tape parade was held as former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt was welcomed back to the United States after being overseas in Africa and Europe for more than a year. Doing what? I don't know.
Probably killing a bunch of large animals.
Right. The liner SS Kaiserin August Victoria arrived at New York City, and parades were held to welcome back the former chief executive. Man, I can read. Alex Smith won the U.S. Open golf tournament in an 18-hole playoff after he, John J. McDermott, and McDonald Smith and played the first three-way to tie in the event's history.
They played the first three-way, and that's it. They started the first three
Yeah,
guys to fight.
the first Devil's Three-Way in the U.S. Open's history.
The Mann-Elkins Act was passed, giving the Interstate Commerce Commission jurisdiction to begin government regulation of interstate telephone, telegraph, and cable communication. Another provision of the act gave the ICC immediate power to suspend railroad rate hikes.
Wow.
Or Taft's.
Yeah, Taft is good.
They were doing shit like every day too. Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
The city of Glendale in Arizona was incorporated too.
All right, that's a good enough city. I'll give it.
Yeah.
June 19th, Sunday. Father's Day was observed for the first time as a result of the efforts of Mrs. John B. Dodd to honor her late father, William Smart, and all other fathers.
Okay.
The city of Spokane, Washington proclaimed the third Sunday in June as Father's Day, a date that later received recognition nationwide. Born were Paul Flory, American expert on polymers and 1974 Nobel Prize in Chemistry laureate, and Abe Fortas, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, 1965 to 1969.
That's crazy. He died in 1982.
Yeah, did he like leave in disgrace?
Yeah, he was only in the Supreme Court for 4 years and he dipped.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy. June 20th, Monday.
At 1:40 p.m., President Taft signed the Enabling Act of 1910, granting the conditions for New Mexico and Arizona to be admitted as states. A solid gold pen was presented by Postmaster General Hitchcock, and an eagle feather pen presented by New Mexico's delegate to Congress.
Whose name was lost to history, apparently.
Were used in the White House ceremony. The statehood was achieved in 1912 for New Mexico as the 47th state, and Arizona is the 48th. That's kind of weird. How'd they pick which one was first?
I guess just whoever filled out the paperwork faster.
Yeah.
June 21st, 1910, Tuesday.
34 representatives of different organizations met in New York to establish the Boy Scouts of America.
That was 34 different representatives had to
Oh.
34. Yeah, great. I don't know. Didn't lead to the greatest things in the world. Probably not, right?
The Boy Scouts should sell cookies.
But yeah,
Well, they
right?
sell
Just
popcorn.
like the girly.
Do they?
Yeah, they sell popcorn. It's not very good.
Do they still do that, or is it?
I mean, I don't know any Boy Scouts.
I don't know.
No, personally I don't. My
I
family
know
never.
Eagle
My
Scouts.
family never associated. That sounded like Protestant shit to us.
My Cub Scouts, the guy who was my Cub Scouts like local den leader or whatever was really weird, and his son was super weird.
Wait, really? The leader of the local Cub Scouts was weird?
Well, he wasn't like a child molester. He had a kid. Not that that precludes you, but you know what I mean. Like
Makes you more likely.
he wasn't
That's
like
why you have a kid.
he was, yeah. But he was normal. He was just like not very good at being a den leader. I don't know how he got the job.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We can probably skip the first effective vaccine against typhoid fever. I was gonna skip that.
June 22, Wednesday. Airline travel was inaugurated as 12 passengers and crew on the D-Lag Zeppelin dirigible Deutschland departed from the Friedrichshafen airfield in 3 in the morning on a 9-hour flight to Dusseldorf. It took them 9 hours to go like a 30-minute drive. Edward, Duke of Cornwall, the 16-year-old son of King George V, was made Prince of Wales by his father. Peter Pears, English opera tenor, was born, as well as Conrad Zuse, German computer science pioneer.
Edward, Duke of Cornwall, aka King Edward, aka the guy who quit being king for that woman,
Oh,
and also he was a Nazi. He comes up like every podcast episode. I feel like.
Yeah, he's always around. I'm
He's
gonna
doing a lot
I'm gonna
of
try to speed run, guys. Do you mind?
June 23rd, 1910. At least 60 people were killed in a train wreck near Mons in
Stop
New Mexico
laughing.
After 4
It was
cars
a tragedy.
broke loose from the locomotive when it climbed a steep grade. Born John Newey, French parrot known for Beckett in Bordeaux, and Gordon B. Hinckley, American Mormon leader, president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, 1995 to 2008.
Wait, that means he was president until he was 98 years old of the church.
Yes.
That rules.
boy.
Carrie, you got June 24th, Friday.
President Taft signed the Wireless Act of 1910 into law. All ships carrying at least 50 persons were required to install radio by July
That's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
1911. Ananina La Lombarda Fabrica Automobili.
Oh, I guess that's what Alpha stands for.
Alpha was founded in Milan. The automaker was known by Alfa Romero.
Oh, this is
Now
good.
known by Alfa Romero.
All right, June 25th, Saturday. The Mann Act, known popularly as the White Slave Traffic Act, was passed by the United States Congress, prohibiting the transportation of women across state lines for quote, immoral purposes.
We've all been that. I'm doing that right now.
Yeah,
Well,
Tom,
that's crazy.
Tom, you gotta stop doing it. They made it illegal 115 years ago.
I don't like the idea. If it's an adult woman, you should be able to transport her across state lines for sexual purposes.
Yeah, man.
If she consents.
Look, yeah, people people
So
fly out women all the time.
I've driven to Columbus, Ohio from Pittsburgh for sex before, and I don't think it should be illegal.
Well, you just couldn't bring her across.
Oh yeah,
you
true.
can go.
Guys can transport.
Men can do it.
Also, white slave, very funny.
Yeah, that's who called it that. Igor Stravinsky's ballet The Firebird was premiered in Paris. The ballet made the 28-year-old composer famous overnight. The U.S. Parole Commission was created, making it possible for the first time for persons convicted of a federal crime to be paroled before the end of their sentence.
They're just making up basic
Prior to
shit.
the passage of the law, a federal prisoner could only secure an early release by commutation or pardon by the President of the United States. The United States Postal Savings System was created by law, adapting for the United States a system that had been used in European nations for people to deposit up to $2,500 into an interest-bearing 2% account at their local post office. The system would not be fully abolished until 1985. The Pickett Act became law, giving the U.S. President authority to withdraw government-owned land from public use as necessary for government projects. The direct system of public land surveying began in the United States, replacing the system of contracting with private surveyors. It just seems like they figured out a bunch of stuff this day.
It seems like they're just figuring shit out.
And died Juan Williams, the father of the Chilean Navy, died.
Also father of Wendy Williams.
June 26th, Sunday.
Porfirio Diaz was reelected president of Mexico for the 8th time.
Okay,
Defeating Francisco Madero, who would lead a revolution later in the year, had been jailed earlier in the month. So
I guess when a guy does 8 terms, you gotta do a revolution.
Antonio Teixeira de Sousa became the new prime minister of Portugal one day after Julio Valeno declined an appointment by King Manuel.
June 27th, Monday.
In Irwinville, Georgia, cop killer W.H. Boswick shot himself after releasing 6 children whom he had taken hostage. Boswick had murdered the Urban County Sheriff and the Chief of Police of Ocilla the day before. It shot 4 deputies on the scene. 1 fatality.
Jesus. This guy's a pimp.
3 masked bandits conducted a train robbery on the Oregon Short Line as its train number 1 approached Ogden, Utah. Nearly 100 passengers and crew lost their money to the thief.
It keeps getting better. Keep reading this next one.
Robert A. Taft, the 20-year-old son of the President of the United States as well as the future U.S. Senator from Ohio, accidentally ran over a pedestrian with his automobile while driving near Beverly, Massachusetts.
Oh my God.
No, it's okay.
Michael Thithwalla received prompt medical attention, and President Taft paid the man's hospital. What a good guy! As well as a trip to Italy and more than a year's.
Damn,
wow, dude, if you get hit by the president's son, that you get a trip to Italy and money?
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna try to get Dom Jr. to hit me with a car.
This is also like 1910, dude. No one knows how to drive yet. Like, you can't really blame him for that.
True. The first electronic.
Yeah, people also don't know that like cars are dangerous, so he hears a car coming down the road, surely has no idea what's going on.
Oh, it's gonna just bump me.
Yeah, like I'll probably just bounce off.
Okay, so the first electronic bulletin press was installed at a large window at the New York Times building, introducing the concept of displaying breaking news as it was received. Boo! Shouldn't have done that. An operator would type news bulletins on an electric
He's
keyboard.
typing it live.
And the words would be printed in letters 1.5 inches high, large enough to be read from the street. The first big test was an instant updates on the July 4th Johnson-Jeffries boxing match.
June 28th, Tuesday. In Germany, the first airline crash took place when 3 days ago they had the first airline. When the dirigible Deutschland was wrecked by high winds while attempting an emergency landing at Osnabrück. Count Zeppelin's airship was on a flight from Dusseldorf to Dortmund.
This is cool.
When it encountered high winds at 5:30 p.m., the airship descended into the Titoberg forest. The 33 persons on board were uninjured.
So it sounds like they weren't. Well, these airplanes didn't go that fast and they weren't up that high. So it sounds like they just like hit some trees.
The town of Warden, Washington was incorporated.
Not important enough.
The death of Samuel Douglas McEnery, 73, U.S. Senator from Mississippi, John Henry Haynes, 61, archaeologist specializing in Babylonia, and Ibrahim Nassif al-Wardani, assassin of Egyptian Premier Boutros Ghali.
Wow.
June 29th, Wednesday.
The oldest customs union agreement still in existence, the Southern African Customs Union, was signed by the British administrators of 3 Southern African states that continued to be in the SACU as independent nations. South Africa was joined by Bechuanaland, now Botswana, and Basutoland, now Lesotho, The trade agreement would continue to operate even with South Africa's enforcement of apartheid law as a white minority republic, with a modification in
Wow.
1969.
They were cool with the trade union even when they were doing apartheid.
And then in 2002, after South Africa had gone under majority rule, the Interstate Commerce Commission ordered reduction in freight rates on 6 Western railroads. Went for Taft, and John W. Daniel, U.S. Senator for Virginia, died.
And finally, June 30th, Thursday.
Len H. Curtis demonstrated the practicality of aerial bombardment
No.
dropping 20 mock explosives from a biplane over Lake Keuka in New York.
Yo, we invented planes like 10 minutes ago.
Already murdering people.
Yeah, and Tsar Nicholas of Russia signed legislation concerning the procedure to be complied with issuing laws and decrees of all empire significance for Finland, bringing the Grand Duchy of Finland and its Finnish people under Russian rule.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the month of June 1910, and we have to go right away. Carrie, do you have anything to plug?
So I have a mic on the first and third Saturdays of every month. It's at Easy Lover, 5:30. It's a bucket, and it's called the Feelings Anonymous mic. I know that sounds weird, but okay. So I remember the first AA meeting I went to. Everybody from that meeting added me on Facebook when I got home. So no one's anonymous. You're not safe, anyways. Thanks a lot for having me.
No, yeah, and thank you for
Fun
being
guy.
on. Thank you to President Taft for all your common sense solutions
so
to those
much.
problems. Cool. We'll do another episode one day. Love you guys. Bye.
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 Okay. You can stop the audio recording.